Hey, what's up, everybody? Today is June the 13th, 2023, and I made a video a couple weeks ago, and I said what happens today and tomorrow, these next couple of days, is going to be pretty important, pretty big in my opinion, for the silver and gold spot prices. Silver and gold prices, the prices are definitely going to react based on what happens in these next couple of days. Well, today on June the 13th, CPI inflation data, consumer price index data was just released. We're going to talk about that in this video. Also, today and tomorrow is when the FOMC meetings kick off today, and tomorrow is when they conclude, and tomorrow is also when Jerome Powell is going to announce what he is going to do as far as raising interest rates, or is he going to take a pause? Is it going to be a 0.25% interest rate increase, or is he going to pause? Could he pause and then potentially maybe raise interest rates again starting in July? I've been listening to a lot of these so-called experts today, and they are all across the board. This is one of those, like I said in my previous video a couple weeks ago, usually we have a pretty good indication what Jerome Powell is going to do. However, this time around, it wasn't really easy to gauge which way he was going to go. 25 basis point increase, a pause, maybe a pause, and then continue raising interest rates down the road. I'm going to give you my thoughts, my opinions, which way I think Jerome Powell is going to go tomorrow. We're going to talk about the CPI data. We're going to discuss all that in this video. Please hit the thumbs up button on the video. Please let me know your thoughts, your opinions in that comment section below. Which way do you think Jerome Powell is going to go tomorrow, June the 14th, 2023? Is he going to take a pause, or is he going to raise interest rates by 25 basis points? Let's talk about it. According to CNBC, inflation rose at a 4% annual rate in May, the lowest in 2 years. The inflation rate cooled in May to its lowest annual rate in about 2 years, the Labor Department reported Tuesday. The Consumer Price Index, which measures change in a multitude of goods and services, increased just 0.1% for the month, bringing the annual level down to 4%. The 12-month increase was the smallest since March 2021, when inflation was just beginning to rise to what would become the highest in 41 years, including volatile food and energy prices. The picture wasn't as optimistic. So-called core inflation, which, by the way, I believe is what Jerome Powell is mostly concerned about, so-called core inflation rose 0.4% on a month and was still up 5.3% from a year ago, indicating that while price pressures have eased somewhat, consumers are still under fire. Now, from someone who watches all these Jerome Powell press conferences, I know he says every single meeting at every single press conference that the Fed's job will not be done until inflation is down to their 2% goal, and inflation is nowhere near, as of recording this video, as of this CPI data, nowhere near 2%. This article goes on to say all those numbers were exactly in line with the Dow Jones estimates. A 3.6% slide in energy prices helped keep the CPI gain in check for the month. Food prices rose just 0.2%. However, food prices still rose. However, a 0.6% increase in shelter prices was the biggest contributor to the increase for all items, or headline CPI reading. Housing-related costs make up about 1/3 of the index weighing. Then it says elsewhere, used vehicle prices increased 4.4%, the same in April, while transportation services were up 0.8%. Per Jeffrey Roach, chief economist at LPL Financial, the encouraging trend in consumer prices will provide the Fed some leeway to keep rates unchanged this month. And if the trend continues, The Fed will not likely hike for the rest of the year, said Jeffrey Roach, that chief economist at LPL Financial. So it'll be really fascinating to see what indeed happens tomorrow. Now, I believe that the markets have been baking in for a while now, at least for the last month, that the Fed was going to pause. So I think if the Fed does pause, that's exactly, in my opinion, what the markets have expected. Not saying that the prices in silver, gold won't go up a little bit, won't fluctuate. The markets are going to do what markets always do. The markets are going to move one way or another. I am currently looking at the CME Group Fed Watch tool, and it is currently showing a 94.2% chance that the Fed is going to pause. And I do believe, in my opinion, based on what the markets believe, based on the CPI data today, I do believe Jerome Powell is going to take a pause tomorrow, even though he has said that he is not going to stop until inflation gets down to 2%. Inflation is nowhere near 2%. Now, a lot of the so-called experts believe that he may pause this June, he may pause tomorrow, and possibly will raise rates in July. So I think tomorrow's announcement and what he says following the announcement, whether it's a pause, which I do believe it's going to be a pause, but what he says following, if it's a pause or if it's raising rates by 25 basis points, it's going to be even more so interesting to hear exactly what he says. Because again, I don't think the markets are going to move too much based on if it's going to be a pause. I think if he was going to raise rates by 25 basis points, I think we would have seen pullback in the silver and gold markets. But based on what he says tomorrow, his wording, I think that could potentially move the markets one way or another. Currently, as I record this, silver, and now this could always change by the time I upload this, however, silver is currently down, just slightly down by 1 single red cent to $24.04. Gold is also up just slightly by 80 cents to $1,954.50 as of the recording of this video. Both metals are pretty much trading sideways. It's going to be fascinating to see what the metals do throughout the day. Also, what these metals do, more importantly, tomorrow after the rate announcement is made, either a pause or going up by 25 basis points. I believe now that it's going to be a pause in interest rates, even though he has previously stated many times that he was not going to stop raising rates. The Fed's job was not going to be completed until inflation was down to that 2% goal, and obviously we are not there now. If he doesn't pause tomorrow, I think that will send shockwaves through the markets, but also the wordings, the words that he uses, whatever he decides to say, not just his scripted speech, but also the Q&A with the press, because the press always asks questions, and that's the unscripted part that also can send shockwaves through the market. So in my opinion, it's going to be very important to listen to that press conference tomorrow. I will definitely be dialed in to that press conference to see exactly what Jerome Powell will be saying tomorrow. Those are all my thoughts, my opinions. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think Jerome Powell tomorrow will take a pause, or do you think he will raise interest rates by 25 basis points? Thanks everybody for watching, listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Definitely let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section below, and I'll talk to everybody on my next video. Thanks a lot, everyone.